Hi, this is Reg Athwal, and welcome to another one of our episodes on our channel. It's a real pleasure to invite you to Family Business Experts, where I get a chance to interview an expert or entrepreneur, or both, and someone who can give us their insights, ideas, words of wisdom that can help us at either a family level or a business level, or ideally both. So we have a fantastic guest today, someone I've known for quite some time, but not have had a chance to spend quality time with her, and only met her once in a media environment where lots of photography was happening and videos were taken. It was a lot of fun. But since then, I've seen her on the platform many times, and I'd like to give you a formal introduction to our next celebrity guest, Andreea Zoia, a woman on a mission. She's an award-winning presenter, keynote speaker, and a highly regarded confidence coach. In addition, she's also been building a successful career for many years as a professional model, MC, and a TV presenter alongside her core business. So, apart from her charm, authenticity, elegance, and her unshakable confidence, when she is free, she's normally running a series of programs with the art of communication, a public speaking program, and a confidence coaching program. We're going to ask her all about those things in this show today. So on that note, Andreea, welcome.
Hello and
hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? So you are the confidence coach.
Yeah, it's me.
So I've got loads of questions. I know I've only got a short amount of time with you. Maybe this could be hopefully a series of episodes. Who knows? But you know that we work with a lot of family businesses and entrepreneurs around the world, and this thing about confidence keeps coming up over and over again around the world. If I meet 25 people in a company and say, hey, will you rate yourself from 0 to 10 when it comes to your self-confidence? And overall, a lot of people are scoring themselves 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. Very few will say, hey, I'm at 9 or I'm a 9.5. So tell us, why do so many people have such low confidence?
First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for such a powerful question. The short answer is because life happens. Life happens, and no matter how good our upbringing is, no matter if we are coming from a really good family who gave us good values, good education, life happens. Certain events happen in our childhood where our parents told us something and we took a snapshot of that event. Or we went to university and we were rejected by a colleague or by a teacher. We took a snapshot. And very often people hold on to those stories, and they are the foundation of how we see ourselves. So very often I work with business consultants, with coaches, entrepreneurs who have brilliant minds and solutions for different type of problems that our world has, yet they are not able to be firm and strong when doing a pitch or asking for investment, because they don't feel worthy enough or good enough of having that mission. So intellectually they have the solution, but at an identity level, which is the way they see themselves in the mirror, their self-image, they don't feel worthy of. And very often we do a bit of scooping, a bit of psychological work, and we discover that that's true for them. It's also my own journey. It's how I have grew up into a confidence coach. And then through my personal stories, through proven techniques and methods, I have them accept that certain moments, certain events in their life has led them to not feel congruent.
So can I ask you then, let's try dissect this. We'll do a PhD in confidence in half an hour. Yeah. So if somebody's watching this right now with young children,
yes,
we'll go in phases, okay, depending on the different environments or situations people are in. So if you've got parents right now with young kids, and what could they do right now that will instill good confidence in those kids, instead of those kids becoming teenagers, young adults, and walking around like zombies? Like someone sucked the confidence out of them. How do you instill it into young children, first of all?
The short answer, give them the freedom to explore and to do more of what they want.
Sounds simple.
Sounds simple. Well, it's what I'm only teaching, and I'm only speaking from what I've experienced. Most of the things that I answer now, so I speak only from experience. I wouldn't dare to do otherwise. If and let's always remember that children are a perfect mirror of their parents. Everything that you don't like in your child, everything that your child is struggling is you. And I'm quoting Dr. Shefali, a renowned parenting coach, who says that your child is your soul. Whatever your child is struggling, you as a parent, that's your struggle. And you have to pay attention. You have to have the humility to sit down, to go to a counselor, to go to a coach, to go to a parenting coach. Parenting coaches are what everybody needs. There are some people out there who think that they are fine, but from what I've seen, we need parenting and reparenting. I've reparented myself in the last 5 years to close the damage and the wounds from my childhood, to repair and make my bond with my mom much, much stronger than has ever been. And my life has changed 360 degrees. My finances have changed.
Wow. I think I've got you on the wrong show. I should have had you on the other show called Family Business Soul.
I'm coming if you are inviting me.
Okay, we'll save that for the second one and go deeper. So hang on, let's go back. This is really good. So you're saying that if there's something that you see in your child that's missing or to be worked on, if you look at it like a mirror, something that's...
And I'm quoting Dr. Shefali, a renowned parenting coach and psychologist who speaks around the world. Everybody can research Dr. Shefali. She speaks about this a lot. And I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in my clients.
That's good. I like that. So that's a good tip straight away to understand what you could do there. And like you said, you allow them to have some freedom, experiment, build, and that's a way of building confidence. I like that. And then, yeah, go.
Experience comes through engagement. I never in a million years, a girl like me who grew up in the countryside, helping my parents create, we have vineyards, we have orchards, we are taking fruits and goods to the market. Not in a million years, I would have known that I can be a fashion model, the face of Emirates Airlines, or a public speaker, me, a Romanian girl from the countryside. No way. But my mom was wise enough to say, you want to travel to the UAE? You want to try to be a model? Go try.
So how did the Romanian girl from the countryside? It sounds like a title of a book. The Romanian girl from the countryside. How did she end up modeling? I Googled you before the show to try to do a bit of research since I last met you, and I don't know, about 50,000 gazillion pages came up of images of you. And I think one of the famous ones, definitely, which all of us remember when we were on Emirates Airlines traveling a lot before the pandemic, is that shot of you in the Emirates video. Okay, it's a classic. But how did the Romanian girl from the countryside become such a successful model? And what advice can you give other young women out there that may be thinking about getting into that profession for a start?
The first advice, the most important one, because we are somehow short on time, we want to be concise, is use this downtime, use summertime, use a week in your life to go on a retreat, get silent so you can hear the sound and the voice of your soul. We have 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. We are bombarded by advertisement, by books, by personal development, by ideas, by stories. It's so much noise in here. Your soul only knows what it wants to create, and your job is to listen to that whisper. I'm sorry if this sounds cheesy, but again, it's what worked for me. And now let me tell you my journey very, very quickly. So today, as I'm coaching people to speak and give presentations and take care of their personal branding, right? Because everyone has a certain title, has a certain position to defend, and they have to show up in the world strong, confident, with good stories. So today people say, wow, Andreea, you're so confident, you're speaking fast, you're Romanian, but you really have a good elocution and you're flawless. I'm like, hold on a minute. This is the process of 5 to 10 years of work, because when I was younger, I couldn't even spell the word confidence. I didn't know what confidence was. Number one, when I was born, from the second, third day when I was born, I was immediately sick. I had kidney failure. I had low immunity. I had several colds. I was going in and on the hospital, on and off, and up until 6. I was getting ampicillin and penicillin injections, and I was eating antibiotics more than sweets. So I grew up as a weak child. When I was 8, I've lost my father in a car accident. He passed away while driving goods. So then my mother was my only parent, obviously, my only caretaker. When I was 8, my sister was only 1 year old, which transformed me in a caretaker of my sister because my mom was at work, which means I became an adult instantly. So all those events gave me all the reasons to become an invisible child who had work to do, who was feeling weak because I was sick and my father passed away and my mom was struggling.
Yeah. But that's a defining moment, isn't it, Andrea? That's a defining moment in your life where we've all got a story, we've all gone through adversity. And again, sorry to hear about some of the things that you've just said. And everyone's got different versions of what's happened in their life. But what you're coming to now, I think, is really important, because now there's a turning point, there's a path. You have an option, there's a choice, isn't there, of staying that introverted, quiet, shy girl or becoming the person you've become.
We always have the choice to say, raising the shoulder, I'm a victim, life is hard, I don't know, I'm not inspired, or say, isn't maybe there more to life? Become curious. Who are you? Because we live in two places. We live in the now and we live in our potential in tomorrow. And I'm curious to know, how am I going to be tomorrow? With who am I going to interact? So you have to have a certain sense of curiosity of who lives within you. Who is this being that lives within you? Fast forward, Reg. When I was 19, I pressed the reset button and I said to myself, I don't really like my life right now here in Romania. I finished high school and I wanted to pursue a career to become a lawyer. And everybody was discouraging me. They were saying, listen, you live in Romania in a small town of 100,000 people. You pursuing law equals you becoming, someone who does some paperwork. And that's like a few hundreds of euros. Is that really what you want? And that image scared me. And I said, no, I want to do something much more than that. So I booked one flight to the UAE in 2004. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I came to the UAE only when I was 20 years old. And I've grown.
That's when we came to the UAE as well, but I wasn't 20 years of age at that time. Anyway, yeah.
Or 22. So from then until date, I went to become a model, but not before I corrected my nose and my teeth in order to fit the mold and become a professional model. I really wanted to experience myself as a model. That, for me as a woman who was coming from a background where I was a simple girl from a family who was making wine, being on stage helped me understand poise, power, body language, the power of being in public and being seen and heard. So that was my first stop in building my confidence as a woman. Secondly, after really reaching a certain success in my modeling career and, traveling to India, to all the Middle East, doing over 200 TV commercials and being on catwalks, wearing the most expensive haute couture dresses, I said, okay, now I want to go further. And I became a presenter. However, when it comes to building confidence, my authentic story is that when I wanted to become a presenter in 2011, I spoke my English was basic, my vocabulary was poor, and I had a very thick regional accent. So it took me a few years of...
Can you still go back to that accent when you need to or not?
I can't, no, it's gone. It's gone, thank you for asking. I'm so hard that I've completely eliminated it from my memory. What I want to say is that when I started presenting, nobody believed in me. My own coach turned me down. He said, you're Romanian, you're a model, just get married. You're going against all odds. There is no way anyone will listen to you because after all, your English is not good. So how in the world are you going to become a public speaker? 8 years later, 10 years later, almost now, I proved everybody wrong, and I've gained my confidence, because now when I'm in the mirror with myself, I'm able to have a feeling, because confidence is a feeling. I have the feeling that I've made it. I've put in the work and I've reached here. And that's what core confidence is. Between you and yourself, given that you have put in the work and you've taken a risk when everyone said, Andrea, it's not possible.
Can I ask you, you've done a lot of work with women, okay? A lot. You know, we've seen the PR, social media feeds where, you know, I've seen you with a room full of women running programs. So for any women who are listening to this, or men thinking about their wife or their daughter or someone else in their family, what advice would you give them to work on their confidence and grow with the things that you've been through? Because whether we like it or not, some of the things that you've just shared, where you can't do it, you're not good enough, why do you think you could do that? I know it happens to men and women. Okay, I went through some of that in my younger years, but it happens a lot more to women, I believe, than it does to men, in my opinion. Okay.
Where do I start, Reg? Where do I start? I have the privilege of working with powerful women who are either mothers, either newly married, and they ask me, and when they come to me and they say, I want to go back to work, or I have to record a video, or I have to do Zoom presentations, they tell me I lack confidence. And I'm like, what do I do with these women? They are powerful, they are smart. Number one, most women struggle with body image. There is a humongous pressure on us, age gracefully, to remain forever young. Too many women on social media, on magazines, are still photoshopped, and there is a pressure, subconscious pressure on us women to keep that slender figure, not to have too many wrinkles. So body image is a big block. Right. What to do about that? As a woman, you have to stay grounded in your journey as a mother, in your journey as a businesswoman, in your journey if you have any hormonal or any type of body dysfunction, and solve it day by day, and put your worth and your confidence in what you know, in who you are, and understand that for 3 months or 1 year, you are working on your body, you are working on how you look, but do not let that dominate. And I say that, do not let that dominate, because according to social media, according to everything that is being published, us as women, we do too many modeling. We model our face, our body, we do all these surgeries. And it's actually something that it's a trap, because the more you do it, the more it's not going to be enough.
And would you say that, yeah, I love that. And would you say that that trap is all external? Okay. So, you know, doing all these things to our body externally, but ultimately it's a bit like the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. The real transformation is within. Yeah, it's not on the outside.
There has to we are living two lives. We are living an interior and exterior life. So for me, I'm sure you've had amazing interviews. I've watched many of the interviews, and I particularly love the one with Peter Sage, where he spoke a lot about spirituality. So my case, I corrected my nose because it wasn't in proportion with my face, because I wanted to model more. And I felt after I did my nose, oh, I want to maybe correct my chin. And I asked my doctor, can I maybe do something to my jaw? And the doctor said, your face has now perfect symmetry. Please exit my office. You're good to go. So he had to stop me there for me to learn that that's it.
Otherwise you would have carried on, yeah?
Otherwise I had questions. Maybe, do you think we can have more definition here? And so when he stopped me, I then went within and I started to work from within, or of whatever wasn't really still strong from within myself. So I started working with different type of therapists, different type of coaches to model my world from within. But the trap that many women fall under when it comes to confidence and surgeries and beauty is that they project something they don't like inside on the body externally, and it's a trap. And there are only few good doctors that will say to a woman, No, you need a psychologist. You need the discussion with your husband. You need to tell your husband to praise you more. You don't need me to do any injection.
I like that. So I think that may become the title of this episode, the confidence trap.
Yes.
And what about my nose? Do you think I need to get it changed? Do you think there's a chance I can get some surgery done? What do you think?
I know you are very charismatic and very confident, and that's a trap question. Haha.
Let's move on, linking confidence to one of the other things you talk about, which is this whole art of connection. What does that mean? The art of connection.
More than ever in 2020, the world craves human connection. The world craves for us to become less focused on ourselves and ask people, how are you doing? Tell me about your world. I care about you. And then, so we need to be asked more how we are doing, not because of the global crisis in 2020, but because we are deficient in love. So the art of connection means when I teach my clients how to start a speech, I first help them connect with their own hearts. I first help them emote more. I first get them connected.
How do you do that? How do you connect with your own heart?
I listen to their story. I listen to what they tell themselves. I listen to how expressive they are. So for example, there are far too many CEOs I work with, of course I will never mention any names, who are far too busy with how they sound in the conference room, in the boardroom, how they sound in a speech, but they are not asking me how to speak with their wife. They are not putting the focus on how attentive they are to speak with their wives. They are busy only on achieving more power, being better leaders at work. But I want them to also care on how they speak with their wife, how attentive they are with her, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So connecting them with your heart means speak more often with your children, speak more often with your wife, be more attentive to your surroundings. Don't be so fooled by growing yourself as a leader and as a fantastic businessman. You have to communicate with love with everybody, not only with your employees and your clients.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And I can relate to that because I've been through that journey myself, where one becomes a workaholic, is on it all the time. I've got 4 children, and eventually, it only takes one of them to say, "Hey, Dad, do you want to start being a dad again?" You're like, "Whoa, what does that mean?" And it brings you back to earth, which is, maybe it's not about buying things. It's just about sitting there and spending time with them and asking how they're doing. One of the things about art of connection, which I want to pick up on, Andrea, is you're someone who's very, authentic. You're just put your heart out. And on social media, I know you're massive on Instagram. There was a video recently where you're being very vulnerable. You're quite emotional, actually. And men don't really do that. Most men don't. We're very guarded. But you were very upfront to say, "Hey, with the pandemic, what's going on?" And you almost broke down. It was almost like, you know what, this is tough. I picked up on that because I thought it was so powerful, where anyone can have this mask on and show how wonderful things are, but you decide to just tell it how it is. And I've noticed that there's other people now starting to do it, maybe because of your video, I don't know. But others have come out since to say, you know what, by the way, my life is also not perfect. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that and what drove you to doing that video and what's happened since.
What drove me is human connection. What drove me is that the more I am myself, the more I will be able to connect with more humans who are like me. I am driven to build a real tribe of public speakers, of people who are speaking from the heart. If we are only speaking from our heads, if we are only speaking facts and statistics, we are committing a crime, because we are all heart, we are all soul. Strategy is loving something so much that you are having a strategy. But to me, strategy is love. Money to me is love, because the more money I make, the more abundant I am, the more I can truly contribute in the world. And I've heard Dr. John DeMartini saying the same thing. You are making a disservice in the world if you are not making more and more money, because you can't contribute. I also know that I have to lead by example. When people come and they say I have certain blockages, I can't really connect, I don't know how, I'm afraid of speaking in public. The more I am myself, the more vulnerable and truthful I am, the more I'm helping them to give themselves permission to be in the same way. So it is my responsibility as a confidence and public speaking coach to be confidently vulnerable.
That's interesting.
Because in doing so, because we have modeling neurons, we model each other's behavior a lot. We are contagious one to another, and you know a lot about that. So the more I lead by example, the more people will give themselves permission to realize that it's safe and it's. I mean, just let's take a simple example. Brené Brown has made a career from promoting vulnerability. It's been now 5-7 years since she's writing so many books on the power of vulnerability, and she's constantly on shows, touring, speaking about the importance of showing up as you are, not having an ego, and being confidently vulnerable. There were a few more things that I wanted to say, but they are slipping my mind.
That's okay. I think it's good. There's some really good thoughts there, and hopefully you're inspiring people, and they can at least think about that, to go, okay, where in my life do I need to be a little bit humble, vulnerable, park my ego? And they may fear it, but until they step in it, they won't know.
If someone is interested in building their personal branding, if someone is interested in building a community, and I know everybody is, because we are depending on it, because we are online, I want to be a testimony that my DM on Instagram is flooded. I get messages on LinkedIn after I post videos, and people say, I love your authenticity and I love your energy. Thank you for sharing this. So my audience is teaching me that the more I put out these messages, the more they come closer to me and the more we bond. So actually I'm creating content, I'm listening, and I'm doing more of what my audience is telling me. And my biggest motto is to truly die empty.
What does that mean?
Whatever I feel that is right to do today, whatever I feel that I want to impart as a knowledge, whatever book I want to write, I want to put it out there. I want to give it. I want to record it. I want to put it in an article. I want to be empty. Whatever I lived in my childhood and has helped me become stronger, more aligned, I want to share it with my audience. I want to be an experiment where other people can do more and be better.
Wow. Do you ever get haters from social media?
Not so much. I get cyberbullied, and then for a few minutes I'm like, what's wrong with this person? But surprisingly, because I've also been very careful how I've built my brand. I've always been decent. My language has always been proper. So I haven't given room for negative comments.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah. So I know that you're running this program right now, very successful program. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes deep diving into it. I've got some of the training program content stuff in front of me here. You talk about it, there's a long, there's 8 weeks and 16 sessions. Is that right?
So it's 8 weeks, giving live sessions twice a week. I have pre-recorded sessions. I have plenty of assessments. This is a 2 months program where I'm giving anybody who wants to sharpen their confidence, sharpen the way they present themselves in the world and the way they impact their audiences. I've packaged now and packed in 8 weeks, in 2 months, everything I've learned about building confidence, presentation skills, memorizing speeches, delivering the best stories, strengthening your voice, and actually finding your authentic voice, that when you speak, people will truly listen on the edge of their chairs.
So let me expand on that, okay? Because I've got the program here. It's only for, by the way, for those of you listening, don't forget to hit the like button, helps the algorithm. Hit the subscribe button, go down to the description area. Andrea's website details, LinkedIn, the program, everything's going to be down there, okay? And also follow on Instagram as well. But some of the topics that I'm looking at the program looks really interesting. The master, the art of body language, how to get clear on your message, discover the perfect voice, embody your speech through customized dance techniques. Now, tell us about that one. That's interesting.
Okay. So I look at how a person is moving their body. And because we are behind the computer, because we are doing this a lot, and we are doing this a lot, we become very stiff in our body. And public speaking, speaking on stage, even speaking now here on Zoom, is a full body sport. I'm moving my hands, I'm moving my eyebrows, I'm emoting through my micro expressions. Too many people become a bit stiff. We don't swim enough, we don't exercise enough, we don't do yoga enough. You gentlemen definitely don't dance. Okay, I know that for a fact. So
I'm actually quite good at pungo dancing, by the way, but that's a different thing. Yeah.
Me too. So I have come with a technique where I give different type of speeches, like, and I give different type of songs. So this is one of my methods, and people have to express themselves on a hip hop song, on a pop song, on a tango. And in doing so, they start to engage again their body. They start to activate more muscles, and they start to engage, because speaking, again, is a full experience.
Mm. And can I ask, Andreea, typically when you've done these in the past and now you're doing them online, who's this aimed at? What's the typical profile of person who's engaging with you? Because there's lots of speaking programs around the world, confidence programs around the world. But what type of person are you attracting, and what's unique about the way you're doing it? Because everyone has their own uniqueness.
What is unique is that I guarantee 100% transformation on the way they are using their voice, on the way they storytell, and on the way they become more and more impactful and persuasive. My course is 80% experiential. They will get to speak and engage a lot. And this course, what I have done different, because I've learned from coaching 350 people one-on-one, I've learned from training 2,000 people, what benefits the clients more. So I'm creating an environment where people get feedback from their colleagues when we are on Zoom. I create special competition, and I give prizes internally in the group to incentivize people to do their homework, because there are programs out there in the world where you hear the video, you make a certain video and someone gives you feedback, but here you are incentivized, you are in a competition. So there is the gamification element, there is the environment that creates change. And so when people start on a certain journey, they grow together, and everyone becomes curious how everybody else is going to change.
Right. And is there a limit to like how many people you would have on a program so everyone gets attention and time? Is it a limit? Is there a limit?
I have a limit of 8 to 10 people.
Also, it's very intimate. It's a very intimate program.
Very, very, because I'm promising results, and I am lucky to say that I have people now from Tokyo, from Bali, from Canada, and from Dubai. So I'm very grateful.
So obviously we don't know who's going to be watching this and when, whether they're watching now in July 2020 or 2021. So you're going to have to go to the description area probably to get update details on when the next program is on. One last thing I want to ask you before we wrap up. 2030, future. Okay, December 31st, 2030, I'm meeting up with you, shaking your hand, celebrating, congratulating you, saying, wow, what an awesome 10 years it's been since we did that episode. What's important to you over the next 10 years? Where will you end up 10 years from now? What does that look like?
Beautiful exercise of visualization. Let's see what comes. Whenever I love these questions, because it's giving me permission to discover myself what's going to come. I haven't done this exercise because I'm very present and I believe in being in the now. But what comes now as an answer is I would have traveled everywhere in the world and taught my program and worked with many entrepreneurs, many business heads, many professionals. I would have written at least 1 or 2 books. I would have already had a family and maybe a baby. And I would enjoy my healthy body, and I would enjoy a really, really a good career that makes me feel very proud.
That's a great answer.
It's what came.
It's good. I like it. And I look forward to reading that book called The Trap of Confidence. There's the title. Right? Yeah, the Trap of Confidence, and the other book, The Romanian Girl from the Countryside.
Yes.
So on that note,
and the
go on,
third,
Andreea, go on, give us one last tip. I knew something was about to come out. One last tip, bit of advice for our viewers. What could that be? What do you want to leave them with?
I want to leave you with the idea of confidence makeover. Maybe this year in 2020, we all need the confidence makeover to truly identify whatever makes us feel not good enough, not strong enough, get a reality check, and get the right people in our surrounding who can help us build our confidence. To me, life needs to be lived at the highest level of confidence with a high appetite for life and for love, because we have apparently only one life, and we truly have to make the most of what it is, because life is a precious gift.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'll see you again soon on the Family Business Soul Show for a much deeper conversation. On that note, Andreea, thank you very much. And we'll catch up soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.